Okay, for running time, I just want to jump right into the confrontation in my driveway with this whack job FBI agent that I have living next door to me. Well, he don't live there. He owns the place. So let's just watch from the moment I realized there was going to be an issue. Bud, all I asked for was a little...
I'm done talking.
Just ask for a little
I'm
consideration.
done talking to you, buddy.
Do you understand how this could be a problem? I mean,
No,
just
it's
block
a problem for me right now.
What? That I
It's a
can't
problem
access?
for
It's
me,
a
and
problem.
I'm done talking to you.
You're not even being
The
reasonable.
first time I showed up, you met me at my door and said, I need you to move.
Right, because you
Okay,
pulled.
I've parked there 23 years, two cars back side to side.
Right.
You got that whole place over there. You got a two-car carport here.
Lower your
and I'm
voice.
telling you right now, you can't get if you can't get a lawnmower around that and get access back there, there's something wrong because I put that
Buddy,
tile in and I
let's
put
just
that
calm
tile
down.
in.
Let's calm
No,
down.
I'm not going to calm down.
Right, see, so you're getting angry.
You're
can't
damn
play
right
the-
I'm angry because
Right.
I've lived here 23 damn
It
years. You
doesn't
buy this
matter.
place in May and you come here thinking you're just going to tell me what to do and it's not going to
No,
happen.
I asked you if you can please pull a little bit over.
But
to
no,
the
you
right.
didn't. You demanded it.
No, I didn't.
And I'm not doing it.
You're upset.
That
because-
car will park there for the rest of the fucking time I'm here.
Buddy, don't swear at me.
What? Then stop talking to me.
Okay.
Okay? Because I tell you right now, I got faults, man. This flesh is vile. This mind's carnal.
Right, no, I can see because you're
Okay?
not an honest person.
No, I am an honest person. I tell you right now, my cousin that worked for Bonnie Melton, Clint Goodin, he's a civil engineer. He came down and he shot me in azimuth with his stuff, and then he measured out the survey. Measured out so far. You can call two survey companies and ask them to pull it up.
I'm not trying to have that argument with you. But what I'm saying is,
I own just south of Center. You own to the driveway. This was an easement to the cemetery to begin with.
see, what I'm saying is, yesterday when we were talking, at first you said it comes to about here, basically.
No, I said hypothetical.
Right, okay, no,
Hypothetical.
that's why I'm
I
saying.
said hypothetical if
Right.
it comes right here, right?
Okay.
That's my property line.
Right.
Hypothetical would be right there, what your deed says, to the
Calm down,
driveway.
let's just calm down. So, right.
No,
so,
man,
but
there
you
ain't
did
no
do this.
calming down now.
Right,
I'm waiting
so-
on the law to get here, so I ain't
I'm
got to put
just
up with this
curious
shit.
about where the
because I
line
got a
is.
I
Okay,
got a
quit
son
talking.
here,
Okay, you
and
know
I
what,
got a
I understand
grandson
that.
here.
And you know what,
And
I
if
got
I
no
feel
problem
like
with
they're going to be threatened by you, then I'm going to say something.
You're the one threatening right now.
I'm not
bud.
threatening
trying to
nothing.
do-
Because if trust me, I
You
don't
keep
threaten
using these sugar
nobody.
words. Now, if you are indeed a Fed, I think you choose your words pretty deliberately. So when you use
I don't
like
care
trigger
what you
words like
say.
that,
I don't care what you say.
apparently not.
I don't.
Look, all I'm saying is, if you can recall, and all I'm saying is hypothetically, all right, you pointed out 3 different places here where
I
you
said if it
calculated
did, that's where the fence would
You
go.
said it could be here or it could have been here,
and I
said,
said,
okay.
and that's where the fence would go.
Right, but what I'm saying
And
is,
if I owned right here, I
all right,
promise
but now
you.
it's like talking to an angry female because, you know, you got to get in,
You know
got to
what?
talk over people
Well,
because
then,
I think...
then correct me.
I'm trying, okay,
Then
so...
correct me, man.
Listen to me.
Correct me. If you think you want to call me a woman, then correct me.
Well, quit acting like one.
Correct me.
Buddy, come
Correct
on.
me.
You're getting angry.
No,
I just,
correct me.
Listen to me.
Correct me.
What I asked you was, I said, so just based on those 3 points that you pointed out, the hypothetical pieces, parts, I said, so can we agree that we're not sure where exactly the line is? That's all I was asking. I'm not trying to tell
And
you
I
to get
told
off.
you.
That's why I didn't tell you to get off my property. I said, could you just kind of keep it off to the right so I can get through there? You see?
I don't know what you're planning on doing here. If you plan on directing water to come across this property here, that's
Right.
not going to
So,
happen.
as I'm telling you, okay, the property has been kind of, with the water eroding and bringing the soil overlapping.
It's been
you know,
doing that for years. Yes,
right.
sir. I get
That's
it.
why I'm trenching it out, and I'm trying to get it back to that stream. But see, it's kind of rough there with all the rock. And when
Well,
you
where he's parked at, okay, the majority of his truck is on my property.
well, I'm trying to get
If
this.
if it's center,
Right, because you don't know.
and you don't either.
Right, but see, you're automatically assuming
But
that you're right. But you know what? Okay, that's fine. But, all we
But
need
you're
is a
telling
survey.
me I need to move my stuff, and I ain't moved it.
No,
now.
I'm just asking if you could move over while I'm trying to dig that trench so I can get some of this runoff to go to that stream back there. And you don't care about that, man.
Well, here's my thing.
Whatever
That ain't what
happened
you
to love
say-
thy neighbor? You
what-
told me you listened to a preacher in
I listen
Flowood,
to
and
him.
I
I
thought
do,
that,
all the
well,
time.
what good does he do if you don't
Let me
learn
tell you
anything
something.
from him,
Do
man?
you understand what a Christian is?
Apparently you don't, man.
I
because
do.
right now you
A
have
Christian-
anger,
a
you have
Christian-
judgment, man.
Yeah, that's what a man has. That's
No.
why they need a savior.
No. You're born once.
That's why they need a
And
savior.
if you say after you're born again that you
No,
still sin,
you're
then
not.
you're a liar
If
and
you're
the truth
born-
is not in you. You
No.
only get reborn once, buddy.
No. First of all, you don't rightly divide the word. You're not Israel. Only Israel can be reborn.
Okay.
Only Israel can be
I
reborn
have a
because they
feeling-
was born of God. You're a new creature in Christ if you believe Christ Jesus died on the cross for your sins, was buried and rose again the third day. You're a new creature in Christ. You're not born again. You're a member of the body of Christ.
Right. See now, but you have anger. You're just sitting there and you're yelling at me. What I'm trying to say, all I'm trying to say is, why don't we figure out where the line's at? You're taking that as a threat. You keep saying that.
And I'm telling you, I'm gonna figure it out. And if I'm wrong, then I will tell you to your face, Lonnie, I'm sorry. I will say that.
Well,
Lonnie, I was
really,
wrong.
But really, you should say that now because you're
No, I'm
yelling
not
in my
saying
face
it
when
now.
both of us can admit that we don't really know where it's at.
Then why are you telling me to move over if you don't know where it's at?
Well, I was just asking you if you could move out of
I
the
don't
way.
want to move over. I want to park two of my vehicles side by side here because that's the only two places they got to park. These
I'm
guys
just saying,
here, they
listen,
would be back.
So you
they
don't
would have
care
been
about
back.
the runoff flood in my house? I mean, I'm just trying to ask you to be reasonable. Just move over long enough so I can get that trench, so I can run that water off.
Okay, let me ask, where are you planning on running the water off? Because it's not
To
going to
the
be
ditch.
running over here.
It's running like in an
Okay.
angle to the ditch,
If
man.
you're going to be running it to the ditch, then you should be digging it. You should be digging it from here, going over.
Right now, why
Okay.
can't so where the trucks parked?
No, I'm saying from here going over middle way.
Oh, so I
gotta
gotta
go right
dig
to the middle
around
of
your
your tile.
vehicle. That's what I'm saying.
If
All I
you're-
was asking was to keep it open,
If
man.
you're
While
gonna
I'm
dra-
doing
if
this,
you're
I'm
gonna
moving
drain
the draft.
this, you're better off to drain it to where it goes behind.
And then I end up with it underneath the house because there's nowhere for it
Well,
to go over
it's not
there.
going to go over here and go onto my property. I'm not going to allow
Now, you're
that.
being difficult right now.
It's not going to go to my property. It's
I've
not.
had angry ex-girlfriends that talk like this. It's like there's no talking. It's like, you know,
That's
you're
why
gonna
we're
pick a
done
side.
talking. That's
Right,
why we're
right,
done.
Right.
We're done. You keep disrespecting me. We're done.
I'm not yelling in your face,
You're
man.
calling me a woman, but
Well, you're acting like one,
Well,
man.
you're
Can't you talk
acting
to me
like
like
one.
a man?
you're acting like that.
I'm trying to reason with you. Men are logical, man. Women are steered by emotion, and that's what I'm seeing right now.
No, men are steered by guys that want to come in here and think they own every damn thing when I've been
Well,
parking
no,
there
I'm
for
saying,
years.
what I'm saying is when they sold me the place, they said that the driveway
Who
was
told
mine.
you that, Lonnie? That's what I'm
The
asking.
people I bought it from. I mean, you're saying, I mean, I get it, you know, okay, you
That's
can't
what I'm
trust-
saying. I can call David right now and say,
I
hey,
don't want
David.
to talk to anybody because
Well, he's
see,
the
what
one
you're
that sold
telling me
it to
is
you.
to talk to more people that's going to tell me something that's in line with what you say. But really, it comes down to when you pointed at 3 different spots.
We're done. Come on, we're done.
You pointed at 3 different spots, admitting
And I
that
said
you really don't even.
hypothetically. I said hypothetically.
Right,
And
hypothetically.
I also said that if that's the case, like I told you, I said if it's here,
Right.
a fence will go up here. If it's here, a fence will go up here.
Okay,
If it's
but
here, a fence will go up here, and
Right.
I'll put in a culvert.
Right. But look. Right.
And
so,
that's exactly what I'll
so,
do.
So let's listen to what you're saying. So you're saying if it's here, or if it's here. It means that you don't. We're not sure. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So why are you yelling at me?
if
Man,
you-
I'm
if
just
we're-
asking. Like, where is it at? Because really,
Because
I mean-
you approached me yesterday.
no, it isn't about.
And you
that,
know
man.
what?
I
You know
see
what
the-
aggravates me more than anything? I
Somebody
stood here.
standing
I
up to
stood
you?
here. No, I could care less. You know how
Right.
many? Dude, you think? Let me ask you something, man. I don't like to fight anybody.
Well, you seem like you're very argumentative. so
No,
your
but I'm
behavior
not
says
going to let
otherwise.
people come in here and start bullying me around, man.
I'm not bullying you.
You're
around,
doing
man.
that.
No, you see, no.
Yes, you
this
are.
right here is that what women do to try to shut down an argument.
No, it's not. No, you're acting like a woman.
Okay.
You know?
no name calling. I was just trying to help
No,
you
you're
out there
acting
with
like a
little
woman.
advice,
That's
'cause
exactly
apparently
what you're
you
saying
haven't
to
had
me.
much of a positive male role model.
Yeah, you keep
So-
talking shit. Keep talking. You ain't going to instigate me. You
No,
can do
no,
what
I'm not. I'm
and
just
I'll make
saying,
sure.
man.
I'll make sure I bring that up.
Love is telling somebody what they
Yeah.
need to hear, not making sure that you don't hurt their feelings, buddy. You know what I mean? Men should be able to talk logically and reasonably. I just asked you about those 3 different points you pointed to. I said, you know, well, why don't we find out where it's at? But you keep going to, we're getting lawyers and you're going to call the
I'm
law?
going to get a lawyer and I'm going to get a survey. I'm going to get a survey done. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to hire me a lawyer
Okay.
and I'm going to get a
Maybe,
survey
you know,
done.
That's fine, but you don't
and
need to be angry about it, man, because we both agree that we don't seem to be exactly clear as to where it's
No,
at.
you told me yesterday and today already 3 times that you were told you owned the driveway.
Right, that's what they told me when I bought it. And they
But
said
that
there's no
doesn't-
easement. You own it free and clear. There's no liens. There's no easement deeds.
Of course there's no liens.
Right, and there's no easement deeds.
Because that's what I'm saying. You don't I have talked to 2 attorneys already, right? I called my attorney, they were on vacation, so I called the attorney that normally helps them out. And they told me plainly there's what they call a residential easement or something like
Well,
that.
okay, so I'm not really interested in phone calls and conversations
Well,
that you
that's
say
what
that
I'm
because
saying.
see, it seems to me, it just seems to me like if I don't buy your narrative, to use one of those liberal type expressions, not because I'm a Trumper, I'm not
what you
but
do to me, buddy.
well, I mean that's kind of obvious.
But
I just
that's
thought
the
that
thing,
you know,
right?
that's what I just figured. You know, I mean, a godly man, somebody that you know goes to church on Sunday and comes home and parks over. According to what I was told, that's why I said if these people lied to me.
According to what you were told is the key.
Right. So, right, and according to what it goes both ways because you're telling me stuff too. So I
I'm
mean,
I'm telling you this, and this is the God's honest truth. I've lived here 23 years.
I know you told me that.
I let my son and his wife move in here November of last year because we moved out November when we bought that house. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, for 23 years that I've lived here, I've always parked 2 vehicles here. If anybody lived here, the neighbor parked there, and then they parked 2
here. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it if you weren't really doing it legally to begin with. See, I mean, if you had an agreement, because see, now you did at one point see that when you talked to the guy over here, you said at first he was saying that the driveway was his, then you said he said that you can use it.
No,
right?
But he was wrong. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Well, how do you know if you never got a survey? Hey, get moving. So how do you know then who was right if you never got a?
Because I went and had my cousin shoot me an
That
azimuth
doesn't matter.
and
His guy is not an official surveyor. He's not certified. I can get a buddy come out too and say, hey man, my property line comes to the middle of your yard.
Then get a buddy. I don't care what you do, man.
No, I find that I don't hang out with too many people since I moved to Kentucky because it seems like people are very fixated on me not being from around here. They're quick to speak to me about Jesus out of one side of their mouth, and then you come over and you trespass and you threaten me with lawyers.
I'm not going to talk to you about it.
Right.
I tell you right now, if you believe Christ died for your sins,
we're not
was
talking
buried and
about
rose again
that
the
right
third
now.
day, then you're saved. Okay? And I'm saved. And that's the only reason we're saved. It ain't nothing we've done.
That's lip service, man. If you don't live as an example, then it's just lip service. Just like those preachers that'll come up to you on TV and go, and everybody's like, oh, and they think that's all theater, man.
I know what it is. I agree. I agree 100%.
You know, I think, man, you'd have a whole lot more in common than you think.
We
if
can
you
have a
get
lot
so
in common.
emotional. But see, I mean, like I said, I need to know where this property line's at.
Yeah, then, okay, you do, right?
Right.
So how come I'm the only one that's getting ready to pay for a survey?
Because for the size of my land, it would cost more for me to have one
Not
done,
for a
and this
partial-
is the
not for a
only line
partial
that I'm
survey.
curious about because you're telling me here, but yet you're still telling me that you want to be able to park side by side. So I said, okay. So I said, while I'm digging out that trench here, trying to divert the floodwater from hitting
Yeah,
the stuff,
and
now
that's
you
one
keep
of my-
talking over
that's
me. If
one
you
of
keep
my
talking over
concerns.
me, you're not going to learn anything.
That's one of my concerns, is I don't want that trench dug to where the water's coming on my property.
Well, if you move some of your vehicles a little bit, I can dig a trench going out there.
These vehicles are on my property.
So you're telling me that because these vehicles are on what you believe to be your property, you don't care about my house flooding. Now that's not neighborly to begin with. You say you're a Christian?
Sir, I'm telling you right now, I have no.
It's men like you that are to blame for why this country is where it's at.
You can say what you want to say,
Weak
buddy.
men and educated women got us here.
I agree. I guess so, sir.
I'm just trying to figure this out, man. You're the one getting upset.
Well,
All I ask for is a little
when the
courtesy.
deputies
Look,
show up, they can tell us what to do, okay? And then we can go on our happy ways. If they say, you know what? If they say, Mr. Goodin, don't park there until you get the legal thing, or if he says, Mr. Locke, don't say nothing to Mr. Goodin, then we'll
have I
go
ever
both
said
ways.
anything other than hello? All I ask
Well,
you
my
is
point
as
is,
a courtesy
I don't want to talk
pull
to
over.
you about where I have to park my
Right, because
vehicle.
I think that the reason why you shut down the conversation at that point is because you won't admit that you're wrong, possibly.
I told you, if I'm wrong and it's legally proven I'm wrong, then Lonnie, not only will I apologize, I'll buy you and your family a dinner.
You know what? You know what? You
And
don't
I
owe me
mean
an
that.
apology, man. All right.
And I would.
You know why? Because I already forgive you. I understand why people act like you do. This is a spiritual battle, man.
No,
You're not an honest
why I'm
person.
acting like I do right now? Because I'm
Because-
highly stressed out. I just lost my mom.
I
and
understand
I'm
that.
having to
I
talk to you
understand that.
about
But see,
this.
I understand that.
And you know what's
I lost
bad?
a parent too.
I
I know
was
how
down
it
here,
feels.
and I lost a son too.
I
and I was
understand that,
down
but you
here,
know
and I
what?
was down here yesterday I was talking with you, and I didn't really want to talk with you because I just wanted to go in,
Right, but
tell her
if
something.
you're possibly violating like a property line, then you owe me that conversation. But you seem to get angry right when you run out of evidence aside from some guy you can put on speakerphone to confirm your story. That doesn't make any sense.
I get angry when I'm just getting out of my truck and a man approaches me and tells me I need to move my vehicle over.
Because that gravel's getting really hard. It's hard to move or dig that stuff up as it is. You know, and then you pull right up without any consideration. I mean, I got to move that a bucket at a time, man. That's heavy. I was going to pull out the lawnmower, pump up those tires, and you pull right up. And I mean, that wasn't like, hey, I park here. That was, fuck you, buddy.
No, sir.
You know what I mean? The other day, I've got
not.
photos. I stuck my shovel out of the ground, and I got a photo of you pulled right up to it. Like, I mean, my stuff was out. I was digging. And it's like, without any consideration.
I didn't touch your stuff, sir.
No, you didn't. No, I'm not saying you did, but you pulled
and
right up to where the shovel was.
Well,
And it's like a foot from your
I parked where I normally park.
Right, but without any consideration to the work that I was doing, I told you that I'm getting
It was
flooded.
dark and nobody was out there working.
Buddy, this picture that I have, there's plenty of light.
Well, there was nobody out there working.
I stepped in to take a leak. I had to wash my hands.
That's convenient.
What is that? Oh, 779. See, we don't need to be bickering like this, man. I mean, we clearly, like
I'll
you said,
be honest with you, Lonnie, I could care less if I ever talk to you.
Right, no, I'm the same way because I didn't come here to make friends. I find that people in Kentucky are a little backward.
That's what I'm saying. You always stereotype people when you don't even know, man.
Because see, ever since I came to Kentucky, nobody would talk to me because you're not from around here. That's Breathitt County. I spent a year and a half up there with people telling us, you're not from around here, you're from Chicago, we don't want you
I'm not going to say that to you.
I don't know that. That's my experience since I've been to Kentucky. They've been trying to
But you're stereotyping me when I don't. I tell you.
Hey, man,
I can tell you right now.
what they're doing is all I'm saying.
You own every bit of that back there. You own all this here.
Well,
you
how
own,
am I supposed
like
to get to it if you're going to block my access off
2.2
half the
acres.
time?
I'm not blocking your access.
No,
You got that right there. You can move your vehicle just as easy as I can move mine.
I got to do some landscaping right there for the moment.
Well, it's funny how it's convenient for you, but it's not convenient for me. You can move your vehicle just as easy. No, I'm not. I'm a very conservative Republican.
You don't act like it.
Well, I am. I'm a very conservative Republican.
Build back better. You got one of those bumper stickers somewhere on your truck?
I don't have to have that. I vote for Donald Trump every time, buddy.
Fantastic.
Every time.
See, we got that in common, man.
Let me
I don't
tell you
know why you
something.
got to escalate this to an emotional level.
No, it's not.
It's frustrating talking to somebody that, once we can't get past the point that, you're telling me, but some guy came out and measured it. And I'm like, but it has to be a survey.
And we're going to get it.
It's not legal so let's get it done, man.
We're going to.
I mean, I don't need to get one done on this side when you're getting one done on this side.
No,
it'll be quicker.
I'm going to get it done where it goes from yours to here and from mine to here and then up.
Okay, so let me tell you what I'm going to do. If they come out and they say that the property line comes to say like right there, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, I don't need that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's up to you, sir.
That's me, right? Because I'm not going to sit here like that. But see, what you were theorizing, those 3 different spaces you were theorizing where you believe the property to be without actually getting an official. I was just saying, hey, in the meantime, can we pull over to the side? You know what I mean?
And I didn't have honest to God, Lonnie, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
You argued for an hour over it, man, and kept talking about roads going up in there. And I'm like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about right here where I'm working. I got to lug buckets of gravel straight back. And it's like, you don't care. You're just like, well, I park here. So you just took up the spot, man. That's how that's what a Karen does. You know what I mean?
I didn't get in your way, man.
I got pictures, man, showing you.
You know what? All you've done to me since we've been having a conversation, you've called me a woman like 4 or 5 times.
Because you're behaving
You've called
like
me.
one,
You called me a Karen, whatever the crap that is.
Right, that's.
All I do is listen to you just continuously insult me.
Every time I go to
I'm not gonna bow down to you and
I'm not asking
expect
you
you to talk to me like a kid or something, man.
No, I'm not asking for that. I'm asking
I don't know how old you are, but I'm 47. I'm not gonna be talked to like a kid.
I'm not okay. So look, it's been very clear that no matter where I go in Kentucky, it seems like I got people who are quick to point out the property line. No. Just hear me out. See, I can't talk because you start making a point over me. But see, this is what's interesting because I think you think you're a lot smarter than what you actually are.
No, I'm not.
Because
I don't think I'm smart at all. I just know I know this.
That you're not sure where the property line is. That's why you said here,
and that's why I just told you a minute ago.
Let's get something done so we at least know.
We're going to.
Well, then why? Okay, so let's just be cool, man.
We're going to.
If I could.
But I want to be able to pull up in here without you telling me I need to move over.
Well, if you're going to be in the way when I'm trying to work, I mean, I think that it would be like a common sense thing that you go, well, I don't want to get in his way for a day or 2 or whatever.
Well, you're telling me you can't finish work because my son's truck's in the way. But here's
I said I was going to go across the ditch, but there's a tire sitting on it, and I said then I was going to dig it like over some and then straight back. I'm trying to find a spot in that gravel where it's like, I don't have any like heavy equipment to dig that up. I got to route it back there to the stream, man. I mean, you should think about that. If you were getting, if you were getting, water over there, and somehow my parking
what you're
situation is
doing,
affecting you, I'd move it
it's
out
going
of
to
the way
help
for you.
me. It's going to help this house. It's
What's
going to
that?
help it.
What's that?
What you're doing, it's actually going to help this house too. Because the water normally comes right across the driveway.
Right. I'm not trying to do this without any thought in mind, man.
You know, it's actually going to help me too.
Wait, did you ever notice, like, when it rains really heavy, how the water cascades, like, this way and the way the dirt was, like, overlapping the driveway?
The way the water goes underneath the carport, that's why I was telling you. And I get what you're saying. If you do it that way, it's going to run under your house. But if you run it back to the bank and go that way with it, it would not do that. But I get it. If you want to put it back there, that's on you. That's your land.
Right. But, I mean, can you at least work with me?
That's your land. You can do what you want to do.
Can you at least work with me? If, say, like, I need you to move a vehicle over to the side with that, you go and, you know, all...
Yeah, I probably could. I probably could. But here's the thing. When a man says, well, this is my property, I own this right here, I need you to move over, that's exactly how you told me.
So you're going to get emotional and upset and go, you're going to show me,
you're already claiming it's your property, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I don't think...
That's what I'm saying.
But that's my point. Now, see where we're going in circles.
Right, because you have no proof, and I bought it from a place that ran title searches. And
title search don't do nothing on...
Well, but an easement search was a part of that.
It's not part of it.
Of course it is.
No,
I
it's
paid
not.
for it.
Talk to an attorney.
I paid for it. It was two different things. They looked it up and they said they went back over 30 years and there's no easements on this property.
If you're right, Lonnie, honest to God, if you're right, I will seriously, humbly say, Lonnie, I'm sorry.
Hey, but see, we don't have to get to that point because, like, would you get? Yeah. But see, you're already escalating to this point to where you actually feel like you might need to. But see, that's why, like I said, I understand. We're in a spiritual battle right now, my friend, and you know, people, they're very confused right now.
I called you a woman up there because you called me a woman 3 times.
Oh, I don't care about that. I know better than that. You know what I mean?
I don't like that, man.
Well, you know what? I mean, maybe because you're kind of in the back of your mind, something is just kind of thinking, maybe he's being, you know, there's a little more truth to that
I did 2 tours overseas. I know better.
Oh, I don't care if you went overseas. There's men wearing dresses going overseas. That doesn't make them men.
They may, but I tell you right now, you don't know half the shit I've seen.
Well, I mean, that doesn't matter because we're not talking about tour of duty. We're talking about a few feet over onto the property.
I'm talking about my manhood, and you keep trying to...
You're changing the subject because I keep trying to go back to this spot right here, and...
We're done.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I think you're... man, okay. Now, this was the end of the conversation that we had that led up to him, well, because he called the law, as he called it, and they came up. Now, in this next video, okay, listen to why he said he called them. Hey, how are you?
Trying to argue, but he comes out and he's got a gun on him. He's got a gun on his waist. He has a gun on his waist.
Hey, you're going to shake?
Trying to argue, but he comes out and he's got a gun on him. He's got a gun on his waist. He has a gun on his waist. Trying to argue, but he comes out and he's got a gun on him. He's got a gun on his waist. He has a gun on his waist.
I apologize for making this video longer than it needs to be, but I want to paint a clearer picture. Now, I got the water so it's running out, and eventually if I can connect it to the creek out back. Digging it back this way because the slope going up into those trees is coming in this direction. The water will flow that way. But I have to edge this out too, but it will flow back towards the driveway and into the creek out back. But if I dig it the way he's telling me, I got to lead it back down past my house, and that's the problem. And also, there's concrete poured back here. I have no idea how far it goes out. I already had a bit of an issue there. It was getting into the corner from this side. You should never have water collecting near the house. So I got, you know, a little bit of it trailing off. But I mean, as you can see in my property, there's nowhere for me to run off a substantial amount of water, which is what I'm talking about, trying to run off in another direction towards a stream. I have a neighbor, I'm not going to show too much, but you can see really quick, just like right at the top of the screen there, that I have a neighbor across the street and she's on a downgrade. I would end up flooding her property. I can't do that. And look at this. I got a lot of brush here, man. There's roots. This would require a lot of equipment, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not logical. So, I'm not going to do it. Well, hello there, buddy. The FBI Code of Conduct. The officer's fundamental duties are to serve the community. safeguard lives and property. He stole my plows. He wasn't interested in them, nor did he notice them sitting there until I pointed out, hey, look what I found in the back of my property. I might put something ornamental out in front of the house. Well, I come to get them, they're mine, and he walked right past my no trespassing sign. So that's not what he did there. Protect the innocent against deception. You can hear over and over in this video, he's contradicting himself over and over again. And all I keep saying is, look, so we can agree. We're not sure where the boundary's at. But he just kept saying stuff. But that last bit, and the peaceful against violence and disorder. You couldn't get much more disorderly than that. He made such a ruckus when I walked out there after the sheriff rolled up. I mean, we had neighbors out in the street. Man, come on. Do you have any idea? It looked like I was harassing that man. That is just not the case. And respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. He said I went in and came out with a pistol strapped to my hip. Now, both times that he went down that road, he stuttered. Now, is it reasonable or is it unreasonable to suspect that he was right on the brink of saying he went in, he came out with a pistol strapped to his hip and threatened the federal agent with it. He was going to get my gun confiscated. That's the one part that I cannot pass up. He has a camera on his property that was facing down over the whole thing. Being an agent, I'd be disappointed and surprised if he didn't have audio. The truth is on his own camera if he didn't use bleach bit. You know what I mean? I mean, really? So when I realized what I had on this camera, because when I came out and talked to the officer, I had the camera going. I didn't pick it up while I was walking out, but when I reviewed the tape and I heard what he said, I put all my photos into a file, nice and neat. Like I put them in order in the video. I took a drive. I went over to the sheriff and I had a chance to sit down and talk to him. I said, hey, I got some video you need to see. And at first, I don't think he realized what I had, but you know I had his curiosity, so he sat down and began watching it. And I'm looking at the side of his head while he's watching it, and then his eyebrows. He watched it for several minutes. It's 22 minutes long. Then he started skipping a little bit ahead, and he said, this was the conversation you were having before we came? And I said, yes. At this point, he told me, the sheriff, he took down my phone number, and he says, you know what? He says, I'm going to take a drive and talk to him about those plows and about what, I saw in that video. He says, look, I can't do anything as far as the contents of the video. However, he says, I encourage you to take it and show it to his supervisor. This, you know what I mean? So he took my number and he went somewhere and said he was going to talk to this guy, so he was going to call me later. Now, it's been a couple of days and I never heard anything back, but something interesting happened. Suddenly, all the vehicles moved over to his side of the property. Okay, so this guy just would not cooperate. I'm thinking that this sheriff said, buddy, you called us and said this. His video proves otherwise. The man didn't threaten you. Look on his camera. He's got everything on his hard drive. Maybe, possibly, who knows? I'm going to keep you guys updated on this as it unfolds, because this is not going away. Stay out of trouble, everybody, until the next video. Man, I apologize for the length of this one. I didn't want anything to be interrupted or edited. I wanted you to hear everything for yourself and draw your own conclusions. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Cletus Jackson is stopping by today. He's going to help me with some, remove some of this brush. So, I don't know, I might get him on here a little bit later and hope that he gives me something good and I don't get a guideline strike from him. He's a little untamed. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you later.